Imagine a Sanheyuan in the countries in South Taiwan. Houses with cracked and broken bricks. The atmosphere is full of the smell of rural area. The wind there makes you feel tranquil. In a sunny day, children chase with each other happily, and this happy scene seems to last ever after. Now you can open your eyes. Since I was born, every year I have to go back to my father's hometown, which was an ancient Sanheyuan, to celebrate the Chinese New Year with my big clan, which was centered by my grandparents. Every year, there were more than 40 relatives going back to celebrate it. As you can imagine, what a bustling sight it was. When I was little, I was very excited with Chinese New Year because I could go back and play with my cousins, set off firecrackers, and receive a lot of red envelopes from my relatives. I remember that when I was little, my health was not quite good. Several years ago, when the time was near winter vacation, I had a serious fever. However, after I went back to the Sanheyuan, my fever would suddenly disappear. How amazing it was! I guess that's because not only the fresh air there, but also my cheerful heart cured my sickness. One of the strongest reasons I like to go back is that I could play with my cousin. My cousin and I had become very close friends since we were both little. One year, there was a fashion in plastic swords. Although this is made of paper. We bought plastic swords and fought with each other happily. and once we competed to throw the plastic sword, and we threw again and again. Oops! The plastic sword was thrown up to a roof. This is roof. We used every possible method to try to get it back. However, the methods were all in vain. Finally, we gave up, and the plastic swords still stayed on the roof. Sometimes, my cousin and I would sneak out to eat with breakfast, but before we sneaking out, we often ran into my grandma.
哦，老孫啊，你睇三頓字㗎啦，食口好啲啦，啦。
都瞎了。10 years ago, my grandpa passed away. It was a sad time, and I was also worried about whether my relatives would come back in the next Chinese New Year. It turned out that most of them came back because my grandma's still alive. and I relaxed. However, 5 years later, my grandma also passed away. And what I was afraid of the most came true. During the Chinese New Year after my grandparents passed away, the number of my relatives who came back became less and less. I guess that's because the center of my clan has gone. The central force of my clan does not exist anymore. Finally, there were only 5 people, including my family, which have 4 people and one of my uncle. My cousin and I became less intimate because of the lacking of contact. Every year, I would wish to my ancestors that the next year everyone would come back to celebrate together. However, it proved that there was only disappointment waiting for me. And fortunately, my third aunt, who was living near the Sanheyuan, would treat us kindly. When we were going to live, she would invite us to come back next year. However, last summer, my third aunt passed away. So I went back again to join the funeral. In the funeral, most of my relatives were all back. My cousins were also here. It seemed that my wishes have come true. But why? Why my wishes came true in such a sorrowful way? After the funeral, I went back to the 三个院. I look around every corner here. Every corner had its own story. The last glance while living, but never again prosperous things, just as the yellow photos will never be vivid again. Something choked my throat, but my tear was still in my eyes, and the plastic swords on the roof witnessed all the changes here. We may easily ignore the things we have owned. We may take our parents' care for granted. We may make excuses not to be at home. We may think our parents will be bothering. However, when we actually lose them, we could just do nothing but regret. Now, you are a college student. Your golden age only lives for at least 4 years. After you graduate, you can never be back. Even if you re-examine and be a college student again, this is not the first time you'll be a freshman. You are no longer young. Time is quick, but changes are much quicker. Your golden age will only live for once. So seize the moment, embrace your youth, and cherish what you have at hand. Toastmaster of you.